Hey, witches, it is Wednesday. It is time for the Witches Movie Coven. So grab a goat or two, grab a drink or two, and grab a bag and put it on top of your head because we Baghead. I am Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. I know. I forgot I got a popcorn bag. Will that count? But it's in it. You might know me from the Witching Hour, my podcast, or from Ghost Adventures, or from Bathroom Walls Across America. Let me pass this on to Courtney while she still has a face. Courtney, go.
Apparently, you and me, Patty, are the only ones without Baghead. So
We're
that's me, Courtney Buckley, Ghost Bait on Scared and Alone. I am back. It's been a long 2 weeks without you guys. I'm sorry and I missed you. But it's new week, new me. I got a new piercing and 80s hair because it's so humid here. It's growing exponentially by the second. So let's see. I'll bring out a measuring tape and see how large it gets by the time the episode's over.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Okay, Richard-Lael still has a face.
I do have a face, but I don't think I followed the assignment clearly.
You have a bag on the head.
Alligator, though. It's an alligator bag. So does that count? I mean,
yes.
I think so. I'm going to take that off because my balance is not that great, but it's a vintage bag and I love it. I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I'd be a. That's right. I am known as the gentleman psychic. I'm a psychic and a medium. I used to be a psychic and a small, but I gained some weight. Anyway, that's me.
Thank you very much. Okay. Bag number 1 in black. Yay!
What?
Oh, we can't hear
No,
you.
we can't hear you, Jason. The bag
has stolen my pretty hair, and it has also stolen my voice. I'm happy that you're back with us, Carol. Is that it? I forgot your name. It's been so long.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
So
I love you, Courtney.
Glasses already.
Yeah, already.
Begun.
Put your bag on.
And now the beautiful in pink bag number 2.
Woo!
I'm shocked.
I thought it was going to be Thumper. I thought it was going to be Thumper Forge. So I am surprised.
Oh, because I've been gone for 3 weeks. I have the big reveal here too. Look, woo!
Oh.
They may put their bags back on. We don't know what they're going to do. So I'm Heather Greene, and I have all kinds of fuzz from that bag all over my face. And anyway, I have not been here for 3 weeks, and I'm super excited to be back. I had some family and fun and business and Llewellyn stuff to do. I am an author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft, and I am also a journalist and an editor at Llewellyn Worldwide, and I'm so happy to be back with my coven on Wednesday nights again, especially for this movie.
We have missed you madly.
Thank you.
If any of you are ever gone, we have missed you madly. So yes, and we're supposed to show all our books. We all have books. We all have books.
Oh, wait a minute. This is not. Hold on a second.
We're working on you. You have a lovely vintage bag, though. Okay, so this week's movie, Baghead, 2023. I walked in the dark in the wee of the night. Hopefully you all did too. But just in case someone did not see it, Richard-Lael, do you happen to have an unbiased, complete synopsis of this film, beginning to end?
I certainly do. And if you have not seen it, you can just put a bag over your head and pretend you did. I will not give any opinions until afterwards. This film, Baghead.
Is that the cue?
A young woman inherits a pub from her deadbeat father. She's in England. She's having a hard time putting bags in her head, apparently. She's having a hard time. She doesn't think she's going to inherit anything from her father. And then she gets this club in Berlin. It's in a lot of disrepair. It needs a lot of work. She and her friend show up, and she is dismayed to find that there is some gentleman who has broken in. He reassures her that he's not there to harm her, but rather that he is wanting to speak with the lady in the basement. She tells him to go away and to come back the next morning because she has not yet gotten the keys. She gets the keys. He gives her $4,000 to speak with the lady in the basement. Comes forth. It is a woman with a bag on her head. Turns out it was a witch from 400 years ago. He was trying to summon his dead wife, but instead his dead mother came back because the ring that had been given to his wife first belonged to his mother. And unfortunately, you can only speak to the dead for 2 minutes before this jaded witch takes over the spirit. They didn't know this. They didn't say that. So the dead mother tries to kiss him with water oozing out of her mouth. But of course, the spirit in the basement now obeys the young woman who owns the club. There's a lot of back and forth about like fighting. What should we do with this? How do we make money? We should do this. We should use it to make money. She finds the video of her father warning not to use the woman in the basement, but of course she doesn't listen because greed. Father's dead. Turns out father burned himself alive trying to burn down the pub. Man shows back up again. Woman, best friend, ends up in the cellar dead, but you don't know that she's dead. And then she goes into the hole. She's been warned never to go into the hole, like I have been warned never to go into the hole. You go into the hole. She goes to the hole, and then there was the spinny wheel, and then there was the error of it said something about licensing error. And that was the end for me. But I did Google the rest of it. And apparently she goes into the hole to find her best friend who is dead. She thinks that she's alive. She goes to bring her out, but she discovers the body of her best friend who is actually dead. And she realizes that this Baghead lady is after her. So she escapes. She gets through. She comes to, however, and the other man who was there just wants to be the guardian. He wants to speak to his dead wife because he wants to accuse the dead wife of cheating. And so he is there. He's actually he's trying to strike a deal with Baghead lady so that he can become her guardian. And she says that she can't, as long as Olivia Newton-John, is that her name?
Oh my God.
Whatever
Yes.
the name is.
Yeah.
As long as she's alive, no one could be the guardian but her. So he detests, he says, he protests, he's not a murderer, even though he is the one who drugged his wife. Long story short, drugged his wife. She got into a car accident and died. And so he goes to chase after Olivia Newton-John. He pushes her down the stairs. She falls to her death. He brings the mobile phone, hands the phone to the Baghead lady. She, of course, puts the phone in her mouth because that's the best place for it. And then somehow becomes possessed of the spirit. But now she's her own boss, and she is free to kill the man and leave the basement and wreak havoc on the world as a 400-year-old dead lady in a bag headdress. I think that's about it.
Perfect. Word for word, scene for scene. Thank you very much. That was one of your more thorough, Richard-Lael. That was lovely. It's all about the bag. And maybe there's a little bit more. Miss Beautiful Heather, we have missed you terribly, but we have 5 other things we might need to know about this film.
Yeah, there's some fun things to know about this movie. I'm going to give you some basics. We'll talk about the director's influences, some other films that are similar, the cast, and then the interesting witch tropes. So first, starting with the basics, this is a 2023 film. It was first released in Mexico and limited theatrical view. Of course, got picked up by Shudder, which is what you might have all seen it on. It has the budget is unclear, but it's grossed over $5 million so far. It is more of an indie film. The director is I wrote it on my other sheet of paper, so hang on one second. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Alberto Correndor, and he is from Spain originally. He's been in the industry for quite some time, but this was his first feature film. He originally made it as a short film. It got some awards, and then he decided to make this film. That is probably, I'm guessing, yes, that's the other cast. So that's the awards for the original film, which had a different cast, and again, led to this. What
was that?
We just had a freaky flash there. A little scary something. Anyway, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. So the director, Alberto, his influences were quite interesting because he's really interested in Guillermo del Toro. He did things like Shape of Water, which if you haven't seen, I highly recommend it. Pan's Labyrinth, the recent Pinocchio, Hellboy. Yes, Jason?
It's just that every movie he's got a hand with an eye on it, you know.
I knew
that always comes after you.
Oh, okay.
every movie.
Yeah, and he likes the gothic nature of Del Toro's films, so he talks about that. And he also loves Sam Raimi, who I have to bring up because we lost Jason, but that's not why I had to bring Sam Raimi up. Sam Raimi, we have seen several of the films here. He likes the kind of spooky combination with a little comedy. He mentions that when he talks about influences. Sam Raimi, of course, we did Army of Darkness, we did The Gift, Drag Me to Hell. Those are some of the Sam Raimi films that we've reviewed here, which you can look back at. He also likes Japanese horror, and I don't know too much about Japanese horror, so I can't make any recommendations, but he also loves some of those. So those are some of the influences, which is really interesting for this director because you can kind of see some of that in this film. So other films, of course, I already mentioned the short. It got awards. It was called the same thing, different actors in it. We saw the image for it. There also was, interestingly enough, a movie called Baghead from 2008. I don't know if anybody accidentally watched that. It's a very different film. It's about a bunch of actors who go to the woods to try to write a play, and things go a little bit wrong. But the picture of them, they're all lying in bed in a big king size bed with paper bags over their heads. There it is. And it stars Greta Gerwig. So if you want to watch a movie with Barbie in it, you got Baghead from 2008. There is also another movie. When this movie came out in 2023, people accused him of copying a movie called Talk to Me. I don't know if anybody's seen Talk to Me. I have not. It's from 2022. And he was accused of copying it, even though he had already made the movie in 2017 as a short. So he actually didn't copy it, but apparently it's very similar. I haven't seen it.
I've seen both. I don't think, not to interrupt and hijack.
Yeah, no, please.
In a very generally conceptual way, it's similar, but it's not
the same.
It's not the same.
There are no bags on heads in Talk to Me.
There's no witches, really. There's a hand, and you shake the corpse hand, and then you can see things, and then they go crazy and whatever. But it's different in a different way.
Yeah. Well, he was accused of that, and he talks about how he didn't even know the movie existed until they were in post-production for this movie. There's Talk to Me, and he was surprised, and he said that you just have to get used to that in the movie industry where you're making a film and something else comes up that's really similar that's compared to. So he just brushed it off. So let's talk about the cast here. We don't have a super well-known cast. However, they're all seasoned actors. Freya Allan, who's you might have seen in The Witcher if you watched that, 2019. Also, she was in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. She played Iris, the main Olivia Newton-John, as I think she was labeled here earlier. We have Jeremy Irvine. He was in Warhorse, and for the musical fans, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Probably a musical movie I will never watch again. Ned Denny, he was in the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Peaky Blinders, Good Omen. You might have recognized him. He was the, what did they call him? The guy who helped her sign the
solicitor.
The solicitor. Thank you. Yes. Peter Mullen, who played the father. He was in Braveheart, Trainspotting. He's been around forever. Riff Raff. He has gotten 47 awards and 42 nominations for indie films and for foreign film people throughout his career. So he's been around a long time, even if you do not recognize him. We have several other the friend. I wasn't sure if it was friend or girlfriend. I couldn't tell the relationship between the two girls. But Ruby Barker, she was in Bridgerton, if you're watching that. We had several German actors, including Anne Muller, who played Baghead, the witch, who you barely, I don't know. Which witch? I don't know, Richard-Lael. I'm so confused now. Anyway, this Anne Mueller, she played Baghead. I don't know if we ever saw her face very much at all. And so those are just some of the various ones. I did come across something really interesting. One of the actresses in here, what she played, I think, one of the ghosts that come back, or the spirits that come back. She's in a movie. Safria, she's in a movie called The Morgan, which is coming out in 2025. It has not been released yet, as far as I can tell, and I think we should all put our eyes open for that, because it talks about it's a horror movie about the Morgan, a pagan goddess coming back, and it looks like it's like to torture people or something like that. So it looks kind of like it's an Irish movie. I think it's something we need to keep an eye open for. So finally, I think that's the last. Yeah, finally, I want to talk about, and I don't need papers for this, the witch character, because this is a trope that we see movie after movie and horror after horror, and even in non-horror, where you have typically it's 300 years, but as the years go by, I guess we add years, 400 years old witch who was tortured, who was maimed, they even suggest she was raped in this movie by a group of men or a society, used, burned at the stake, all the things, who then comes back in this kind of a form, in some kind of demon or ghostly form, to get revenge. We see it over and over again, sometimes in the 70s, sometimes in the 80s, but definitely after the 2000s. You're going to see it. We saw it in The Conjurer. Even The Conjuring has an elements of that. We see it over and over again, and here it is again. And it is always interesting to me how it ends. And here, it ends differently depending on the decade, depending on how witches are viewed or played out and represented in movies. More recently, the witch, even though she's not the best character, usually wins, because we sympathize with her plight more now than we did than movies did in the 70s, for example. And we're going to see that next week with next week's movie and how that works. So it's really interesting to have that changeover, and then to see that here, because once you know her story, you feel bad for her, and we don't like what she's doing, but man, she's been tortured and now she's stuck, and we get, so you sympathize with this character, and it's really an interesting evolution.
Baghead on line one.
Oh my God.
It's the
Baghead
Baghead.
on line one.
Wait a second. There. So anyway, those are the interesting things to note about this movie. I think we can talk about whether we liked it or not now.
I liked the pen.
The pen.
I have a collection of dip pens. I'm going to show you. So I had a discussion with Rob, our producer. The pen was a dip pen. So this one is a dip pen. You dip it in your ink. And when signing a deal with the devil, it is the best thing that you can do. Second best is a quill. That's a quill pen. This is a fountain pen. This one has a reservoir. That's a fountain pen. This one is more late 19th, early 20th century. This one is a glass dip pen. That is not a bong. So yeah, I like the pen.
which is the pens that are usually used when Sabrina signs her name in the Satan's book?
People like quills because feathers, it photographs well. I mean, mine is kind of janky, but feathers photograph well. Though mine is the jawbone of an ass. And by ass, I mean a politician.
Amazing.
So I love that feathered quills because I guess signing this sign with the devil, sign with Satan, or weddings, because almost every wedding book has the biggest quill you can get.
Yeah.
Bridesmaids' dresses. I am back now. Sorry for the 1985 phone. There's nobody there about that. So, yeah, I know it is bad. So, goats did it. I will go for it. I like this movie. It was what I like in a horror film. I cared about the people. Didn't necessarily like them all, but I saw where they were coming from and their survival level and this and that. I certainly did feel for the witch. I mean, to have to live in that basement and live in those horrible things. And it had me on the edge of the seat, which is exactly what I want. I wanted to see when the guy was going to come his back. The good turns bad. The bad people turn good. Everything that I like in a movie like that. So I'm going to hex anybody. No, I'm not. I'm not. I haven't hexed yet, but I have some glasses over here, and I just can't get my tarot bag on my head. I'll jump in again later.
All right, I'll go. There's a lot of things about this movie that I would like to comment on. One of the things is that I feel like they spent their entire budget, as they should have, on like the creatures. Not she's a witch, but like on her like creature feature pieces, which to me were great. I believed it. I liked it. But then the minute any other special effect happened, it was like someone paid 4 cents to like a kindergartner to do it, and like anytime anything lit on fire, it was obscenely horrible. So maybe we could have spread that out a little bit. Yeah. Also, the dialogue was not there for me at all in any way, shape, or form. In fact, we'll talk about it when we get to quotes. Don't have any. Because there was literally nothing to write down. Having said that, though, the setting was beautiful. I loved the building that they were in. I loved the concept. I loved the witch. And at the end, when she was like she won, it like cut to black, and there was a full like couple seconds before the names came on the screen, and I watched it with Nathan, and I turned to Nathan, I said, that better be it. Like, they better stop there. And when it did, I was like, yes, there we go. She won. But we don't like what she's doing. I did. Get it. Like, kill everyone. Mess with everyone's brain, because that's all they've ever done to you. Turn it right back around on them. I was rooting for her the whole time. So it was creepy. Like, Patti, I agree with you. It was, I wasn't scared, but I was definitely, like, it had the creep factor. I watched it during the day. I think I'd like to watch it again at nighttime. I liked it. I thought it was good. It wasn't great. Wasn't the best movie ever, but I had fun watching it, and I didn't, my ADHD paid attention. So I enjoyed it.
Good. The house, it was creepy was the set, the house, whatever that was, the hallways. That doesn't always work in films, but this one, it worked for this one and me.
Yeah.
Jason, you had your hand up, sort of?
Not really, but I guess I could comment on this movie. So for me, like, the movie has to make sense in a way. So you have a Scottish guy who owns an English pub in Berlin. Like, I'm immediately out of the movie. What the heck is that? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. So it felt like, oh, we're just trying to make this movie on the cheap, and this is sort of what we settled on. So already there's like a strike for me at the beginning because it didn't make sense. I thought that it looked good in places. I liked the way some parts of it were shot, but there's a lot of this movie that is completely nonsensical to me. So you have this witch in the basement who's a physical presence, right? She's not a ghost. You can put things in her mouth. And let's say I had signed my whole life away with this ghost witch and was trying to figure a way out, maybe I would call the police, a bunch of scientists, some university professors, maybe bring 1,000 people in and hold her down and run away. I mean, it was just so weird that this figure like wasn't a ghost, that it was a flesh or I guess flesh. I don't know if there was any blood, but a fleshy person who is living in somebody's basement for 400 years. I just didn't buy that. I just didn't buy that at all. That didn't make sense to me. Like, that would have been too easy for someone to prove was existing, unlike a ghost, which can disappear and is not always around. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but it did not
have an imagination.
It did not make sense to me. That part did not make sense to me at all.
I think that I agree with you on most of it, but there were points where she did turn into smoke. So I don't know if she is completely non-corporeal or completely corporeal.
It also felt like
in between. No, go on.
I was just gonna say it also felt very like secret society. So it's not like they're trying to go out, they're just using her. They're not trying to go out and prove or disprove who she is or any of that. So, and they're also not like advertising on the big screen like, well, here we go. Come see Baghead. She's going to talk to your dead relatives.
Yeah, but somebody would do that though. Like if you had this thing for that long, it would come out. Like it wouldn't be some sort of rumored legend. There would have been 1,000 people at the door, each with a wedding ring trying to talk to somebody.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think it was very secret society, very like word of mouth, like
Bohemian Grove.
But they don't want people to take advantage of it because they're selfish and they're gross men who are selfishly using her for their own good. So they're not going to share that.
Yeah, I just think the last 30, 40 years of it, they would have shared it, right? Like maybe not the dudes in the secret society, but the people who inherited the English pub that was later owned by a Scotsman in Berlin. I think that they, like somebody along the line would have shared it. It's hard to keep secrets. It's hard to keep
the dad said, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
And he used her.
And he used her and it wound up killing. He tried to get away, and it wound up killing his wife. So I think there's and I didn't have a problem with it. And I read some articles where people did have a problem with the whole English pub and Irish. I didn't care about that because people travel. And plus I think it seemed to suggest that he didn't buy a pub. He got suckered in somehow to getting his name on that. And then he was stuck there. So it's like the pub might have been something else and something else became a pub. Who knows what the story of the building is, but he said it's like she got suckered in. It was like he wound up, who knows what happened, and they don't explain that, which would be helpful, a little backstory, and how he got sucked in. And then he was stuck there that's why he never had a relationship with his daughter. So I didn't have any problem with that. And I also go with the secret society thing. I didn't have a problem with nobody knowing. For me, I thought it worked. I think it was a really good first go at a horror film. There was some really nice, I thought there was some really nice imagery. Some of it was very canned, like that's what you expect when she throws up. I'm like, oh yeah, there you go. Peas are coming out next. But spin the head around. So some of it was canned, but that I think I love horror films that use the setting and also use small casts, because you can really do a lot. It wasn't the best horror film, but I think for a first go at a first feature film, I think they used some good actors, and it was a solid first go for me. I was gripped the whole time, and really was interested in how this was going to play out. And I think also you don't really know, like Courtney, you said you were with her the whole time. You don't really know it's the witch unless you've read before that she's the witch. You don't know her story until like maybe it's 2/3 of the way in. So you don't really know up until we get her story what the heck's going on. Is she some kind of evil demon? Is she we don't know. So you don't know I didn't know what to feel about her until I heard that story, which was 2/3 in. So then you're like, oh, okay. well, now I know why she's doing this.
Okay. I just naturally side with the person who's killing people, because that's what I do. So I mean, it's not what I do, but what I side with.
Watching so many of these movies and seeing sort of the direction it was headed in, I know she's called the witch at some point, but I didn't know the backstory before I watched the movie. I think that going, the beginning of the film, watching her go, I wasn't against her because I had a sense that we were going in that direction. And I think we're getting trained to question whether the evil person is really evil. I think especially in the last 10 years, we've been watching movies like that, where all the evil people are now good and all the good people are turning evil. And it's.
No, the sinners are saints. Just help us. Lucifer.
Can we touch on Melissa has a question in the comments, what's the meta message? And that's actually, I'd like to talk about that, because I'd be interested to hear what everyone. I think that this is a kind of movie that you can get something different for everybody. So I'm wondering what you guys have for that.
What the meta message is the question?
What did you I mean, yeah, is it about shit? Oh, I can't say that. Is it about crappy men? Yeah. I think especially in this day and age, that's what it felt like. But more than that, it's taking advantage of people and being selfish, and it doesn't get you anywhere except dead.
I mean, I thought Iris was sympathetic at the beginning of the film, and then she becomes less sympathetic as it goes on, because she sees a money-making scheme and wants to take advantage of this, even though she knows better. Of course, I would have called 1,000 people just to come in and see the thing. So what do I know? But she does become less sympathetic as it goes along, I felt.
She also, the second she realizes, literally the instant she realizes that the witch has to obey her, she changes the way she stands, everything. Yep. She's immediately in charge, and she's gets off on it. It's as soon as she did that, she lost me.
There's an actress. I can't remember her name. She's not an actress. She's an experimental model. I wish I could remember. It was back in the 80s, maybe the 70s. She did this thing where she stood in a room and she was complicit. She would allow you to do anything that you wanted. You could hand her a flower. You could cut her clothing. There were razors. There were all kinds of things. And through the course of the evening, it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And more people were posing her in more and more crass, demeaning ways. And then there were Polaroids. So afterwards, she gets redressed, and all that she does is carry around those snapshots of all of those people doing those things to her, and they couldn't even look. So maybe there is something to the fact that she got into it because, for one, greed got in the way. There was a sense of power. The abused becomes the abuser. So possibly that could be part of it too, is that, well, everyone else is doing it, so it's not a big deal. Maybe that was part of that.
I think again, we saw the change in her, which is good. Not all horror films don't have the actors that you could see the shift and the change and everything going on in their head, good, bad, and indifferent. That's what I liked about that. So I think all of those are right messages. The evilness of men and the greediness of humans, and there's so much survival level stuff on everybody. I just got a survival level. So
yeah, I think you have that message, and we're seeing that a lot in these movies, again, with these witches who have been abused and then are coming back and getting back at their abusers, cutting down the chains that have kept either women or just anyone oppressed. I think we're seeing a lot of that anger and that frustration coming through, and witches, usually witchcraft and witches in Hollywood movies are allegorical for women's power and for marginalized people's power, if you extend that. So it definitely has that kind of vibe here. And what's interesting is that sometimes there's a caveat, like Courtney said, she was waiting for it went black, and she's waiting for the retribution, not the retribution. She's waiting for them to kind of say, okay, she got her win. Now we're going to put her back in the grave, but it didn't do it. She won and she's out. Now she's free. And I think there's a message there. Now the power is, the power is free.
The message is they had it coming.
That's right. They had themselves to blame.
If you would have been there,
if you had seen it,
you
would have done the same.
Why are we always singing? I love this for us. But no, exactly it. And I think that's why I liked it. Like, that's why I could forgive everything else, because of all the movies that we've seen better movies, but we've also seen worse. And I can let go of the things that I didn't like because this message speaks to me, especially in this day and age. This is what I want to watch. I want to watch her break those chains and win. Like, that's what I want to see. So I was into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they could have gone a little bit harder on some of the characterization of Iris, and also the guy. I think we could have seen a little bit more depth of character with the two of them. But I did like the friend. I think the friend did pretty well. She played it right, but yeah.
I was also confused like you were about their relationship, Heather, because I felt like they were supposed to be a couple. Yet there was this fear of committing to them as a couple for whatever reason, because they didn't act like a couple, right? They were friendly, but they were missing a level of affection that I would have assumed would have been there had they been dating or something.
I got chosen family because she didn't have her dad. That's my setup. So I think that probably why my brain went right to that, but that's what I saw out of it. It was just they were chosen sisters, and the other one was always looking out for her.
And didn't you love the fact that, without question, the friend is willing to break into the old apartment against the law once the other one was evicted? She is willing to fly all the way from England to a Scottish-owned bar in Berlin on a whim. I mean,
Yeah, but if one of my...
I would do that. I think I have done that.
I would have.
I've broken in. I've stolen a car with a friend because somebody had stolen their car.
Yeah, if one of... That's what I was just ridiculously ADHD interrupting, and I'm sorry to say, but if any of my chosen family called me and they needed help, I wouldn't blink. I would just do it because that's what you choose.
And I got a little bit that they were lovers or girlfriends, or it was a weird cross between them somehow.
Yeah.
But how many relationships aren't defined?
Mm. Yeah. It didn't bother me enough, but there were a couple lines that they said, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, are they girlfriends or wives or friends and it doesn't make a difference to the movie either way. So they could have just clarified that a little bit. It just would have taken the question away.
Especially considering the fact that when, I can't remember their names, Iris and, doesn't matter. When the one is always saying, well, she's always taking care of me. She's always, that to me, that seemed very much like she was, it was almost lover role. Yes, maybe chosen family. Yes, maybe they're just sisters chosen that way, but it did sort of feel,
because their relationship was so well defined. When the widower comes in, the young man, that's almost always the love interest of a female heroine in a horror movie, and then it didn't end up that way, which I was pleasantly surprised by because he was a total creep. But yeah, I was happy that didn't happen. And then she kind of goes, I think, villain a little bit at the end too. So I did like that. I was surprised by the twists and turns the film took, the more that I think about it. So maybe I don't hate it as much as I originally thought that I hated it.
I think that's a good point though, Jason, too, for real though. Those twists and turns, they were not big twists and turns, I don't feel like, in the grand scheme of things, but they were subtle and small, and they were great. And things like the widower dude, when his twist came, he again, just like whatever her name is, Olivia Newton-John, Iris, thank you. When his twist came, he acted that beautifully. Like his face changed, his demeanor changed, and it was very, very believable. And I was like, oh, like what? Oh my God, I didn't see that coming. And then again, like when it was like, well, who are you going to see? So he was never trying to say goodbye. And then again, when he's slipping her Ambien, and then he's talking to the wife about how he drugged her too. And it's like, so it's you think it's over, and then it's not over. Then there's another one. I loved that.
Go ahead, Heather.
No, I was just going to bring up one other thing that they didn't do is having a witch in it. We didn't see any pentacles or anything like that, as far as I can tell. We only had the runes on the door, and those were they were, as far as I can tell, mostly real runes.
Don't you think they ruined it?
Runes. There it is. So I didn't see any other markings that made it overly trying to overdo the occult aspect of it, which was nice too. They used the 400, which I'm assuming is the stand-in for 300, which it used to be, which is points to Salem. Of course, that's why they use those. Just kind of convenient. But they didn't overdo that. Other than did anyone else see any other markings, sigils, anything other than the runes?
No, but the hallway was interesting because it reminded me of Stanley Kubrick, a little bit of The Shining, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The picture, the bar, the man at the end of the bar, some like it hot.
On that note, it might be time to bring in another Baghead because my date has arrived because we're going to go see Some Like It Hot at the Pantages.
Oh.
But I will pan this over to all of you. Richard-Lael, take the lead. All of you take the lead.
Patty, can we get your wands up or wands down before you go?
Wands up.
Okay.
Way up.
Oh gosh, I forgot my wand.
Bother me. So I'll save my hexing for later. Wands up, goats up, bags up. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, Thumper Bag, for coming on in.
Have fun.
Bye.
Welcome, Thumper.
Okay, you got me for 2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Good time. We can ask him anything for 2 minutes, and then he lies to us.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Is that your real beard? Is that a real beard?
It is for this, yes.
Oh.
I have a whole story, not appropriate for tonight, but a whole story about the real beard versus the fake beard.
Okay.
I
look forward to it next time that we're together.
You got it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the film, Thumper?
I liked it, and I've been watching this whole time. And first of all, good for her. That is the absolute theme of the movie. Heather, you mentioned that it was getting compared unfavorably to Talk to Me. Wildly different movies. The only thing really that connects the two is the time limit. In Talk to Me, you shake this kind of, it's a severed hand, but it's been like plastered over, and you get possessed by a spirit for 90 seconds, and you have to let go after 90 seconds. And the kids in the movie are doing this purely for entertainment purposes. They're not doing it for any other reason other than they think it's fun, and it gets really, really out of hand. So I think both movies are really good. I enjoyed Baghead quite a bit, but they are very, very different. Also, as a notary, I would like to address one of Jason's concerns. If a creepy lawyer ever approaches you and says, hey, you inherited an old pub with a possibly demonic ghost lady in the basement, sign here. If the document is not signed in front of a notary who can verify the identities of both signers and take acknowledgement, which means that you understand what you are signing, the document cannot be entered into county record and is therefore not valid. You will not be condemned to being the guardian of the ghost lady in the basement.
Maybe rules are different though in Berlin. I mean, we don't know German law.
Okay, so if you own a British pub in Berlin, all bets are off. This is really just
a different world. It's a different
you
world.
Also, you can't notarize a magical piece of paper where the names can get removed magically.
Yeah.
Also, just
well, And
There
I
is
think
that.
it also is. I go back to the thing. I think that the dad was part of the secret society somehow. He
Yeah.
was linked. And so it was. He was forced into it. It didn't. It wasn't like he was like, I'm going to open an English pub in Berlin. He was forced.
He was forced.
He was forced by with this secret society that we keep leaning on, which is
Well, that
probably
was the thing.
driving
There was
Jason
this.
nuts. It's
Yeah,
a
there
secret society, Jason. Just go with it.
It
Yeah.
really was though. There was this brotherhood that they were like supposedly like protecting the world from her, and they had her walled off. But then some of the brothers got greedy and decided to try to abuse her powers, and they all got sick and died, except for one who was left as the guardian. So there's always been the guardian. It's like a really horrible take on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's always one.
Yeah.
And her dad was the last in line, so he was actually a descendant of the original Brotherhood.
So he is like the last one of the Brotherhood left standing, or is he just like the lowest of the standing in the Brotherhood? Like, oh, you suck. You get to go to our pub in Berlin.
Exactly.
No, I think that would have been better. I think that would have been a better take of you drew the short straw. It's your turn to go on the pub. But it was literally like the last remaining one. When one died, the next one had to take up the torch.
I also think that whoever the solicitor was had something to do with it, because he disappeared off the face of the planet. So I think he was also in the brother. So he must have been in charge of determining who was in the lowest on the totem pole.
I would have liked to have seen more of an explanation of him, because I thought he was going to turn out to be the devil. Like as soon as they were like, "Oh, his office is empty. He's not," or I guess he could. Maybe he was the devil.
You have to sign his book or his magical piece of paper that you can't notarize.
I would have liked to have just seen more of the secret society. I love secret societies.
I do too.
That's a way. That's like just like a really great way to write your movie, to have it involve a secret society. Usually, it helps Jason like movies better.
So did.
Speaking of liking movies better, Courtney, do you have a quote?
Okay, so this was not a quotable movie. So I watched it. I paid so much attention. My ADHD was in check then, which is why it's very clearly not in check now, because I used up all my willpower about that. Now, I could not figure out a quote at all. So I thought I'll go online and I'll check IMDb, because that's usually, if I run into a problem, that's where I go. And I thought I'll see what other people think is inspirational about this movie. And there was one quote on IMDb, and it was from the dad, and he said, "You can't kill it. You can't let it out." So the dialogue was not inspiring today. So that's what I have. Yeah. The movie was great, but the dialogue was not.
Well, I bet Jason, however, has a Mankey movie moment. Minute.
Yes, though I hope it doesn't get me fired from the show, because this is maybe the most risque one I've ever done. So you've been warned. So I'm sorry, Rob, in advance.
Yeah, Heather.
You heard of Dracula?
We had the same idea.
Yeah. You've heard of Dracula, Frankenstein, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. You've gone to sleep fearing the legendary Michael Myers, the evil clown Pennywise, and of course, Freddy Krueger. Now meet the most terrifying monster of them all, Baghead. Really? Baghead? Baghead sounds more like a kind of insult you might hurl at someone. But at least my mama isn't a baghead, a person so ugly you can't take them out of the house unless they are wearing a bag on their head. Or perhaps it's a term you might use while engaging in safe sex. My willy is all wrapped up. I hope you are ready for my baghead. Or perhaps it's a punishment someone faced as a child. I'm going to sit you in the corner and have time to think about what you've done. Don't move or get up for the next hour, you baghead. Back to the safe sex analogy, because I like it. Perhaps we are talking about a bit of oral delight. Hey, baby, I'll put this on and then you can give me some baghead. And I think we've all met people in our lives who carry some serious baghead around with them. It's like a slang term for trauma. That guy carries a lot of baghead. Finally, there are days when your hair just doesn't do what you want it to do, making it look like you've slept in a bag for the last 9 hours. Oh my God, Jason's hair is awful tonight. Looks like he's got a serious case of Baghead. So what does this all mean? It just means that going into this movie, I had trouble taking it seriously because of Baghead. What you name the villain or the heroine, whatever, matters. Just calling the evil immortal ghost witch who lives in a hole in the wall in the basement Hattie would have made the movie scarier for me. Yeah, I know she has a bag over her head, but also, ha, you have a bag on your head.
Okay, I can't breathe.
Wow.
And I will say this, and going on that, you know, this hole in the wall, a hole in the wall has a whole different connotation
Oh boy.
for the sort of set lie.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So you know, if there's a hole in the wall, that's one hole you might not want to.
Blackfield
You might
cannot
not-
hear this.
You may not want to frequent that hole.
Or maybe you do.
Maybe you do.
You
Well, I guess we
don't
have
judge people.
10 minutes left.
I was
Oh,
having
good.
a
I
rough
can
day,
tell you
so I
about the
thought I
movie
would
that I
go
saw.
down to the bag hole. What's that?
I said we have 10 minutes left. That means I can tell you about the movie I saw this week.
What movie
Yeah.
did you see this week?
Fantastic
All
Four?
right, nope. Buckle up. Just prepare yourselves because I discovered that this was at the movie theater and I did not walk. I ran and I purchased tickets and I sat through it and I enjoyed it immensely. It is a small film called Bambi: The Reckoning.
Yes,
Oh.
Yep.
it's the latest in the Poohverse.
Right. By my favorite person on earth, the person that made The Killing Tree. Also, in case you're not ready for this or you don't know what I'm talking about, quick synopsis. After a mother and son get in a car wreck, they soon become hunted by Bambi, a mutated, grief-stricken deer on a deadly rampage seeking revenge for the death of his mother. There was only look at him, there he is. He roars like a lion. He's everything. It's so great. It's crazy. This deer is running around for no reason at all. It's based off of Bambi the book, which is great. And I'm telling you, I enjoyed every second of it, and then I cried at the end.
That's the reviews I've seen are all like they all end with and then
Oh
I
my
cry.
God.
Yeah. Yep. And then also there was only my party of people and then two other people in the movie theater. And I was filled with such joy when the two other people in the movie theater would scream things about, they'd be like, oh my God, like, or like when it would be something so stupid and they'd be like, oh, like whatever. It was the best time I've ever had. I will be going to see it again.
I had to look it up. I had to look up its box office gross from this past weekend to see how much Courtney contributed, and she contributed a great deal.
I
The
know.
box office tally so far is $19,920.
Yeah. So it deserves a lot more than that. So go to your movie. Only one movie theater near me is playing it. And if you think that I'm not going back to buy more tickets, you're wrong. I did not go see Fantastic Four. Absolutely not. I gave my opening weekend money to Bambi: The Reckoning because the same guy that made The Killing Tree made this. And
I look
could
forward
not
to
be-
checking the box office gross on Thursday when it will have made $19,930 thanks to Courtney.
Yeah. Like I'm
Courtney,
gonna
what are
be
the other
real
movies-
honest. Sorry.
What are the other movies in the Poohverse? There was Winnie the Pooh, right? They did the
There's
horror
Blood
version
and
of
Honey.
that.
There's two of them. I don't know what the rest of them are.
Because
hold on,
they
let's
did
look 'em up.
was Screamboat Willie part of that?
I
When
think
Mickey
so.
Mouse
The
went into public
Pooniverse
domain and they made a
Monsters
horror movie?
Assemble. Let me look. Pooniverse Monsters Assemble. We have Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Winnie the Pooh, oh, there's another Bambi. Oh no, Bambi: The Reckoning.
Peter
There's
Pan.
Peter Pan. It looks like Peter Pan. Oh, I'm accidentally clicking on things. And Pinocchio.
Ooh.
Yep.
Is Pinocchio's the one by Del Toro that I mentioned earlier? That Pinocchio you're reading?
No.
Oh, this is
No.
a different Pinocchio.
This is
say.
Pinocchio unstrung.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, and
Somehow
this is-
Robert Englund is in it though, so now I'm curious.
Well, because
Maybe
it's
we
great.
should vote on this week's movie, though. We have 5 minutes, so let's vote on this week's movie.
You're welcome, everyone. Go see Bambi the Reckoning.
I'm gonna put my pen about there. Okay, so we've got one's up, one's neutral. How were you in the audience? What do you have? What do you think? Those of you who watched it, did you like it? Do you have your wand up? Do you have your wand down? Are you more neutral? Anybody over there? We love to see what you have to think. Heather, while they are voting, what are we watching next week?
We're watching a 1970s classic, Daughters of Satan.
Well, I'm glad to see that Thumper.
And I'm not getting blamed for it.
I'm glad to see
Well.
you're excited. Well, you know what? I might have been to blame for that. I think I asked for something along those lines. That might be me.
Honestly, any 70s movie that ends with "of Satan," I am there. I am right there.
And look who's in it, everyone. Yes, it is.
God.
Very young Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck. In the audience, we've got Wands Meh by Scared and Alone. We've got Wands Up by Thomas Wright. Wands Down by Melissa. Wand is Up, Robert Hicks. Tabitha Meadows Up. Christy Cragen, Wands Up, I'll watch it. Wands Up for the movie that should probably have been drowned. Robin says Wands Up, Tabitha. There we go. Okay, so we've got about 4 minutes. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us what you have going on. Tell us what is happening in your world. Thumper.
Hello. I don't have anything coming up immediately, but in November I will be at October's bookstore in Cleveland, Ohio, for the launch of the Chaos Apple, Magic and Discordianism for the Postmodern Witch. And in the meantime, you can find me on pretty much every social media platform at Fivefold Law. I recommend TikTok because Witch Talk is losing their minds over whether or not you can summon dinosaur spirits, and I'm doing my best to make it worse. So I strongly recommend checking it out.
With that.
Jason.
Next week, I will be at Free Spirit Gathering in Maryland, right outside of Baltimore. And the following week, I will be at CWPN's Harvest Gathering in Connecticut. 2 weeks on the East Coast for me.
Will you survive that?
It'll be different.
That's a lot of East Coast for you.
It's a lot of East Coast.
Wait, where on the East Coast? Say it again.
Connecticut and Baltimore.
So you'll have to see me when you're in Connecticut.
Yeah, if you can drive to me, because I will not have a car. But yes.
Connecticut's like walking distance. Like everything is.
Yeah.
Like you make a left turn and you're in Vermont. She can find you. She'll find you.
Yeah.
Courtney,
what
do you have coming up? How do we find you?
You can find me either at the Themes on all the things or at every showing of Bambi the Reckoning from here until it's done in the theater. So that's what I have going on.
Ms. Heather Greene.
I'm actually back at home after a few weeks away, so I'm going to be doing absolutely nothing. I have nothing planned other than working with my great authors. You can find me on the socials, Heather Greene, Heather Greene Writes, and at my website, heathergreene.net. So other than that, I'm going to be working with my authors from my office and doing my thing around Atlanta.
Fabulous. And you can find Ms. Patti Negri on all of her social media, the Witching Hour, I can't remember her book.
Something.
Oh,
what's that?
Mystic Shield.
Mystic Shield. No, that's not what I remembered. But I just wanted to let everyone know, if you want to read a really great article about Annabelle, the haunted doll, who's been on tour. Patti and I collaborated with Fiona, who wrote a great book that's coming out about haunted dolls. The three of us collaborated on an article that's coming out on Friday on the Llewellyn.com site, so you can find it there. Each one of us had a part and gave a little expertise, so you can learn about Annabelle, the haunted dolls, and the tour, and all the things.
And if you're scared of Annabelle, Mystic Shield.
Right. I met her in person, and I'm pretty sure I did something similar when I was around.
Also with me, I'm easy to find. I'm thegentlemanpsychic.com. I am a little bit of everywhere. But also, before we go, I forgot to mention this earlier. If you have come this far and you are enjoying what you are seeing, hit the like, hit the follow, hit the subscribe. It goes a long way to help us to bring witch-related magic movie things to you. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. There's one more thing for us to do, and that is for us to cackle like Baghead witches do. There we go.